Hello, SDC artists. I wanted to take a quick minute to record an introduction to the next photo assignment for the week. This week's assignment is a day in the life story grid. I'm going to briefly go over using some student examples, some of my own examples. I'm going to go over how to photograph your story and then also how to put your story together into a grid. The assignment for this week is to create a real or imaginary story using a series of photographs from your day. I'm recommending that you use 4 or more photographs to tell your story. I would highly recommend that you actually take more than 4 photographs, but to ultimately edit down your series to either 4, 6, or 9 photographs. In this example here, my example, I have 9 photographs that I tried to spread out from throughout my day to get the whole picture. You may choose to focus on either choosing one activity, maybe it's helping your sibling with their homework, or taking care of your family, or cooking food, choosing one activity to record, or trying to capture the whole entire day, all of the activities that you do in your house over the course of an entire day, and then arranging them into an interesting grid. Other options, think about things like think about like choosing one activity. Maybe it's making an art project, maybe it's your morning routines, your morning hair routine, or your evening cooking. It's up to you, but choose one activity. It's doing laundry or chores. Then you want to think about, after you've photographed all of your artwork or all of your activities and your action with a beginning, middle, and end, you want to think about arranging these photographs into a grid using this very Google Slideshow. It does not need to be think about maybe zooming in on one member of your family. Maybe it's your dad, maybe it's your mom, maybe it's you, maybe it's your little brother. Who knows? And tell their story. Sometimes it's hard for us to see our own story, and it's easier to tell a story of somebody else. Other options, if you're like, I really don't want to tell a real story, that's totally fine. Create an imaginary story, maybe using action figures, maybe using yourself. Does not need to be a real story, but just think about a story that you could tell of being stuck in quarantine. So for me, when I was thinking about all the things that I do over the course of a given day, I always start with coffee and cereal. I spend a lot of time sitting at my desk, grading assignments, giving feedback. But then I also do a lot of art demonstrations, so I wanted to show the process of recording those. But then in my downtime, I always try to find time to, I've been working on knitting the scarf for what seems like forever. And then of course, cooking and going grocery shopping. These are our essential things. I've been doing a lot of cooking for me and my wife. So I try to capture various pictures from throughout the day. Full disclosure, not all of these photographs were taken on the same exact day, but they kind of try to convey the essence of what I do on any given day. It's completely fine to combine pictures from multiple days as long as you create the overall story in a grid format that shows what you do on a given day, or even, what you wish you were doing on a given day. So let me just quickly show you how to arrange these photographs. You're going to go right in Google Classroom or Google Slides. You're going to take this slide and you're going to select the text and the frame and just hit delete. Once I have them, this assignment does, I'm going to assume that you've already photographed all of your stuff. I'm going to select all of the pictures that I've taken from throughout my day, and I'm going to drag them and drop them into this document. Now I played some tennis, I went grocery shopping, I made some art. it's going to load all of these pictures together onto this one slide. It will take some time to load, but you're going to notice already these pictures are way too big. So I'm going to hold down my Shift key and I'm going to select this box and I'm going to shrink these photos down. Now the Shift key is very important so that they do not get stretched out. I'm going to actually make them like extra small, and then I can always resize them later. So now I'm going to start to kind of arrange the pictures into a grid. This was in the morning, afternoon, based upon, maybe it's about time, maybe it's about the sequence of events. This was morning, afternoon, morning, put tennis over here, put this one, well, let's put this one over here. I'm going to put knitting pictures together. Now, once you have all the pictures open, you're going to start to look for patterns. So two things. I don't really think that this tall picture fits with all the other horizontal pictures, so I'm going to just delete it. This picture, I already have a picture of me right here, so do I need to? Maybe, but for now, I'm going to delete it. The goal is to distill it down to that essential 9 photographs that make a nice square grid. This is a nice picture, just from around the neighborhood, but it doesn't really have anything to do with my story of my life, so I'm going to just remove it, save it for another day. So now I'm going to kind of think about arranging. I've got grocery shopping, cooking, and then final meal. I've got artwork, and then I've got knitting, and then I've got knitting. Now they don't all fit together. I'm doing some minor adjustments to kind of make them fit, but I think this picture is too long, so I'm going to actually crop it down. And now it should be the same size roughly as all of the other pictures to fit into this grid. I also think this picture is not the right size, so I'm going to blow it up too big, and then I'm going to crop it down to fit. So now that fits. Now I'm going to put that here, here. Oh, I think we've got a little edge difference here. This picture doesn't match this picture. So I might have to, what happened here? Maybe blow this picture up. Oh, it's 7 o'clock, so they're cheering outside. But the goal is I'm arranging them into a grid. I can also just select all of the pictures, right click and hit align, and then they kind of bump them into place. Select all these, align, center. Select all these, align, center. Now we've got this outlier, this tennis racket picture. It doesn't fit with my story, so I'm going to unfortunately have to delete it, save it for later. Or actually, you know what? I don't really need 2 knitting pictures, so maybe I'll put this one in the middle and put the tennis racket here. So now I've kind of got a nice grid. I'm going to select all of them, move it into the middle, and then just blow this up so that it fits the whole picture. It looks like this one's not totally aligned, so I'll just align that up. Great. So now that's that. Once I've got my grid, I'll just reshare it with me. I'll reshare it with Mr. Kushla, and if the only other options might be that you don't like the black background, you could choose to do a white background. You could also choose to do, maybe you're feeling like a green background is a nice touch. You may also want to get rid of the borders and just move all the pictures together so that they touch. That's totally an option too. So I'm just going to select all of them and kind of drag them in so that they overlap each other a little bit. And then select here. So I've gotten rid of the border and I have a nice grid layout. That's it for me. If you have any other questions, please reach out to me over Google Classroom or over email.